It came about, it was born out of the Machine Games guys way back when, talking about the game and specifically the alternate reality part of it, and wanting to explore what would the world be like under a Nazi rule, and more to the point, what would the 60s be like, and this era of, you know, dramatic cultural change. You know, we were like, you know, music, like, well, we're always looking for music and struggling to find music that, you know, fits a game and sets a tone. And as we went along and started moving towards trailers and stuff, the first one we did was All Along the Watchtower, Jimi Hendrix, and then we sort of took it even further by continuing to look for songs that not only we could license, but then we said, well, you know, licensing songs is kind of a pain in the butt, and we have all these restrictions. Like, what if we just make up our own music that sounds like stuff people would recognize? Because, you know, Beach Boys sounding music is Beach Boys sounding music if it's sung in German. Doesn't matter if the song is actually the Beach Boys or just sounds like it, and it went from there.
Jetzt bin ich im Zug nach Hamburg und es ist kein Platz mehr frei. Meiner ist besetzt seit Würzburg und noch bis zur Lorelei.
Früh an einem lila Morgen erwachst du aus deinem Traum. Sonnenstrahlen im Gesicht, das Stillschweigen macht frei.
We worked with a company called Copilot. I don't know if you remember on Dishonored a couple years ago, but we did a song called Drunken Whaler. So we went back to them and said, okay, we want to create like a number of songs that reflect all of these different types of iconic 60s sounds, and they sort of worked with us to come up with what those sounds were and who should do them, and you know, you see the results of it.
Augen der wundersamen Bestien retten uns noch einmal. Wir sind überall, weiß in schwarz.
Tapfer kleiner Liebling, weiter weg als ich es mag. Tapfer kleiner Liebling, du bestreitest den Tag.
For two specific songs that we did covers of under license, which are Boom Boom, the John Lee Hooker song, and Nowhere to Run by Martha and the Vandellas, we agreed that we would never use those songs in conjunction with any Nazi imagery, so the trailers are actually like the footage is from the German version of the game where those symbols don't exist. All the original music we made in part because we didn't have to worry about that, like somebody having a concern about it, because, you know, it was our music from scratch.
Mein kleiner Liebling, wir fliegen.
We didn't worry about, like, well, what does it all mean in English, because the whole thing was meant to be heard in German and consumed in German. So it was just like, we need a Sonny and Cher love song sounding thing, and we need like a, you know, like a teen sensation poppy sounding thing. There was a song about a train, and one about the new moon. It's kind of a homage to the Nazis being first on the moon, which is where the record label name comes
Sprechen den Himmel so blau, bald schon ziehen sie sich aus der Affäre. Spielen immer die Famosen, bringen sogar Rosen, doch bald kennen sie dich einfach nicht mehr. Berlin Boys sind immer für dich da, Berlin Boys sind immer wunderbar. Was immer sie auch machen, sie bringen dich zum Lachen und sie lieben dich, immer ist doch klar. Berlin Boys.
These aren't songs of like protest or songs about asking for change, because, you know, like the Nazis would never put up with that kind of stuff. So it's more just about recreating iconic sounds and familiar melodies and music. And because it's all sung in German, you don't care what the song is about, right? Like when you're listening to the German version of the Monkees, like you don't care, like, because you can't understand it anyway. So it's just more about setting a tone and a vibe and making the world feel, you know, when you hear it in the game, a bit more realistic. And when you see it out of the game, like for some of the marketing stuff we've done, that it puts you in the right frame of mind.
Stuttgart Girls sind im Herzen immer.
Sind im Herzen Schüler, sind im Herzen Schüler, sind im Herzen Schüler. 3, 2, 1, Der Mond schaut uns an und wir zurück. Der Mond ist über uns, wird uns gehören. Gestern die Welt und heute der Himmel, denn uns gehört er und die Freiheit fliegt. Mond, Mond, ja, ja, vereint wir sind unter dem großen Forscher. Mond, Mond, ja, ja, heute gehört uns die Galaxie.
Was there any concern that a lot of trouble and expense was going towards the stuff that perhaps only a few players would hear in its entirety?
You always have that concern when you do stuff like this, you know, but at the same time, like, part of what's important is in doing effective marketing is to do things that hit just the right tone and come and just the right way, that people who do see it recognize it and appreciate it. And of course, like when you use it for all of your biggest trailers, well, you're increasing the chances of it being much more recognized. And then whether or not you pay attention to it or notice it in the game, or happen to notice like an album cover that you can pick up as a collectible, like that doesn't matter as much. It's additive and you appreciate it even more if you see it, but if you miss it, like it doesn't hurt us.
Ja, ja, vereint wir sind unter dem großen Forscher.